Hey guys, it's Mir, and today I want to talk about the recent changes to Rashid that came with the April balance patch. Rashid is probably the single character that got hit the most with nerfs in the Season 3.5 update, and many thought that would have been the end of the line for him. Is that really true, or is there a ray of hope still for poor Rashid? Let's have a quick look at the most notable changes to find out. So the first change was to lower his stun from 1000 down to 950. This of course means he'll be a little bit weaker defensively, as it will take less to stun Rashid. One of the nerfs was to the recovery of his forward throw, Riding Glider. Although the patch notes say it was nerfed by 2 frames, it was actually nerfed by 4 frames, making it only plus 12 on quick recovery, down from plus 16. With this change, Rashid lost his throw loops in the corner against characters with no 3-frame normals, as well as being actually punishable by 3-framers if you try to dash up after a normal throw, severely damaging his pressure game after a throw. The next big change is to his standing light kick. It's now only plus 2 on hit, down from plus 4, and it's plus 1 on block instead of plus 2, but it's now cancelable. What this means is that Rashid won't be able to confirm off of his only 3-frame normal into other lights, but he'll be able to cancel it into specials in case he wants to use it to interrupt pressure or use it as a wake up button. This goes hand in hand with another change to his light eagle spike special, allowing Rashid to cancel into it and have it combo up close. Another notable nerf is the change to the block stun of some of his normals, namely standing heavy punch, the first hit of his forward medium punch, and the first hit of his crouching heavy punch. Not only does this mean that the standing heavy punch is now minus 3 on block instead of being 0, but it also means that his block strings into whirlwind shot, his fireball, especially in the corner, are now gone. You're now able to jump out of them or interrupt for 4 frames moves or faster. Certain characters are able to do even crazier stuff. Just as his corner pressure, Rashid's ability to escape the corner safely was also nerfed. His wall jump is now 2 frames slower, making it easier to see and anti-air, and his EX Eagle Spike now bounces off of opponents when blocked instead of piercing right through them. This makes the move much easier to punish, and as mentioned before, it can't be used to get out of the corner for free anymore. Rashid's light spinning mixer was also nerfed, making it easier to punish when mashed by reducing the pushback and adding a few frames of animation block stop for the last hit. Furthermore, the recovery on whiff was also increased so that it's easier to whiff punish when using neutral. V-Trigger 2, is Sifa, was also hit with the nerf hammer. Several special moves enhanced by the install so their damage and stun numbers decreased in an effort to reduce their effectiveness and put this V-Trigger more in line with the other ESAR. As one last change, the invincibility frames on Rashid's critical art, Altair, were also reduced, down to 17 frames from a whopping 38 frames. Before this nerf, many V-reversals were unable to hit Rashid out of his critical art in a chip out situation, as the move was actually invulnerable for a disproportionate amount of time and would phase right through them. So, as you can see, Rashid was nerfed pretty hard this patch, hitting both his pressure and defensive options. Arguably the biggest nerf was the one to his corner pressure and block strings into whirlwind shot. This considerably weakens Rashid's corner game and will now be much harder to keep opponents trapped on one side of the stage. One of Rashid's trademarks was the ability to play a lot of matchups in a similar way once you got to the corner, as it was very hard for the opponent to escape his corner traps, which on hit would lead to a knockdown that would lead into more pressure. The nerf to ZX Eagle Spike is also pretty massive, as it removes a very strong options that Rashid players had both defensively and offensively. Before the patch, you could use EX Eagle Spike to fish for a hit in neutral, and in case it got blocked, you could get away with it, as most characters would have trouble punishing you if you spaced the move correctly. At the same time, you could use it to get out of the corner safely, as it would just go through opponents, and in the best case scenario even reverse the pressure with a knockdown in the corner if you manage to score the hit. Rashid players will have to be more careful now when using this move, as it's as unsafe as any other eagle spike and can lead to big punishes if poorly spaced. Because of all of this, as well as the nerfs to throw pressure, defensive options and V-trigger 2, Rashid's not looking too good after the patch. Players will basically have to reinvent the character, or at least dramatically change the way he was played, especially on the offense, as most of his options have been nerfed or changed somehow. Some pros are still sticking to the character and are performing pretty well in tournaments, although we haven't seen many significant results from the new Rashid yet. Although the nerfs were definitely intense, I would argue that Rashid is still a solid character with great Oki options, mobility, and ways to deal with lots of different situations. For example, Rashid still has access to pretty good melee options off of his spinning mixer, especially in the corner, where he can cover both quick rise and back rise with his crouching hard punch. Remember that his light spinning mixer is only -2 if not mashed, making it a very safe choice when used for hit confirms. His crouching V skill allows him to go under projectiles and can be cancelled from his heavy whirlwind shot, giving him more options when dealing with other fireballs or when playing the neutral game. Rashid can also cancel the whirlwind shot into his neutral V skill, covering a huge amount of distance. Rashid's wall jump can be still extremely tricky, creating cross-up situations in the corner and potentially allowing him to reverse the opponent's pressure by putting him in the corner instead. Even outside of pressure situations, Rashid still has access to respectable neutral options, like his crouching heavy punch and standing heavy punch, which can both crush counter, or his standing medium kick, which he can use to harass opponents that are just outside of his preferred range to keep him at bay, potentially converting into a knockdown or a V-trigger combo. Even after the nerfs, Rashid still has good defensive options. He has a fully invincible reversal with his EX spinning mixer that he can use to stop the opponent's pressure. These are anti-airs with his heavy spinning mixer and crouching medium punch, as well as good movement speed and backdash to escape certain block strings. Do you guys think Rashid was hit too hard with nerfs? Or do you think it wasn't enough? Let us know in the comments below. As always, remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content. And see you next time.